office. So the question is, what do you do then to re-establish that standing? You get Harold Koh, a man for whom I have immense respect, a man of great principle and so on, but for him to come out and simply say, listen, I've looked at it, trust me, is not going to persuade the people of Pakistan. It's not going to persuade those who we are trying to influence, and it's certainly not going to persuade those for whom we're trying to establish law that they might use in the future. So I think it's really essential for Harold himself to see that there needs to be more disclosure. We need to know more details about the legal analysis that he's apparently done. We need to be able to discuss that. And we need to start getting some real information on how these programs of targeted killings are actually being implemented, what exactly the rules are, what sort of follow-up they do, for example. We don't know that in Pakistan. There's an immense opportunities through the drones themselves to follow up very carefully and to see what sort of damage, excess damage, collateral damage was done. We have no indication that that is being done systematically. And it does contrast dramatically with what happens in Afghanistan, where the Department of Defense is involved. You've got General McChrystal and others going, really bending over more than backwards, if that's possible, to say we are taking every precaution, we are doing all we can to limit. We don't have those sort of assurances in relation to what's going on in Pakistan.
And does it become more difficult in places like Pakistan or even in Yemen, where the government, the sovereign power in the territory where these drones are being targeted, essentially turns its back or doesn't acknowledge that these are even occurring to its own population, so it's very difficult to actually get the information?
I don't think it necessarily makes it harder for the United States, in fact, because everyone knows the US is operating there. Everyone knows that Pakistan, for example, is equivocating on the one hand, saying, well, yeah, okay, we'll look the other way. On the other hand, saying we're not very happy with this. It doesn't matter. The US is clearly in there. It's operating. It could provide information. But I think you raise another issue which is important, and that is the question of the sovereignty of the states concerned. In other words, is it Harold Koh's position that we can only do this in Pakistan because we have the agreement of the Pakistani government? If you have a government which says, no, we don't want you coming in, will the United States still fire these missiles? And Harold lists that as one consideration which will be taken into account. But he doesn't say that we need to respect the sovereignty of states, and leaves open very much the possibility that missiles could then be fired in relation to almost any state if we conclude that they are not giving us the full cooperation we would want.
Well, I want to thank you very much for being with us. Philip Alston, UN Special Rapporteur on Extrajudicial, Summary, or Arbitrary Executions, also a law professor here at New York University. And that does it for our broadcast. Democracy Now! Is produced by Mike Burke, Shrufa Dokadus, Aaron Makta, Angelique Kamet, Steve Martinez, Nicole Salazar, Hani Massoud, Ravi Karen, Mike DeFilippo, Peter Curries, and Miguel Noguera, our engineers. Special thanks to Becca Staley, Julie Crosby, Hugh Grant, Samantha Chambly, Jessel Noor, John Gerberg, Vesta Goddard, Rockham Penny, Kieran Crook Meadows, as well as John Randolph. You can go to our website. I'll be tonight at Kalamazoo, Michigan, at Western Michigan University Miller Auditorium. Looking forward to seeing folks there at 6 o'clock. Tomorrow we'll be broadcasting from Detroit, Michigan. Then I'll be up at MIT at 3:30 with Noam Chomsky and Arundhati Roy. On Monday, speaking at Tufts University, and on Tuesday at Columbia University. Check our website at democracynow.org. I'm Amy Goodman with Juan Gonzalez. Thanks for joining us.